Just G here, just jamming out and juicing. That I would do a live, trying out this new Restream app where I'm able to go live on multiple platforms at once, which is always a struggle because you know how it is out there making content. You gotta upload it here and there. Trying to streamline things for my life and my business. I'm getting ready to make some pineapple golden beet carrot juice with a little turmeric and ginger. You grab that. I have the turmeric and ginger. Keeping it real and raw here on the live stream. Titled this, you know, about juicing and the electric universe. And why is it so hard to stay physically and emotionally well in this time? I just want to share some thoughts about that because I have lots of friends going through a lot right now. Definitely been going through plenty enough in our family. And I think this is just par for the course, you know. A lot of people don't, especially in the social media universe, you know, but also just in our culture. We tend to repress everything that's uncomfortable, everything that's difficult. And really, every time things are getting difficult, it's time for a level up. I mean, as things are falling apart, they're reordering for a higher potential. So, you know, had two friends reach out to me this week with marriages dissolving after more than 20 years. You know, built families and businesses and stuff together. And, you know, it's hard to see them struggling, but I was trying to tell them, you know, uh, that there's a hidden potential for a higher situation. If things are coming apart, that means it's time to let something go. Something is already past, you know, and the same thing happens, you know, when like my friend Angela was doing a live the other day, my cousin, she was talking about contractions in birth and how difficult it is giving birth. But once you've had that child, you don't think about how hard the contractions are. You think about what a joy it is to have this new child in your life, this new being, you know. And I bring this up because I think we're going through this on the collective. I think everybody I know has been going through trials, you know. And just to remind everyone, hopefully this is a message of hope for you. We're supposed to nourish ourselves on the sweet and the bitter fruits of this life, you know. And it can't all just be sweet. That difficulty and that realness of it keeps us humble, keeps us compassionate, gives us greater depth. And, you know, as someone who's kind of like what do you call it, a seven in terms of, what is the name, Enneagram, that's been a hard lesson for me. You know, I always love to just be fun loving and happy and like, you know, raw foods and, you know, that is me, you know, positivity. You know, they say that people who are uh, pessimistic are more realistic, but people who are, um, you know, positive, uh, idealistic mind frame are more successful. So I'd rather be more successful than realistic, but you need to have a little bit of both. And our culture is going through this. Like, there's been stuff that's been going on in this plane, in this reality for far too long in terms of, you know, broken families, emotional sort of illness, you know, a mental illness due to like narcissism, you know, codependency, and, you know, things that have set up. And we're kind of codependent with our system right now that is destroying the earth day by day. Uh, And then people are convinced. I had a conversation with this guy at the grocery store today. And he's like, you know, I, I love the people I love, but I actually think people are the worst thing for this planet. And if I had one choice, it'd be that the people would go away. And I was like, bro, that's so untrue. It's not us that are bad for the planet. It's our way that's bad for the planet. Just like being in a relationship with codependency, that's just unhealthy form of a relationship. If you're independent and you uphold and support each other in your righteous realness, then it's nothing but love and nothing but goodness. And you're there with each other through the difficulty, through the realness of it, you know. So just want to bring those thoughts about it in the consciousness. And there's also this, correlation with health and the way our relationship with our bodies, our relationship with the land, eating food that is not real, eating Taco Bell and, I don't know, all the different paydays and, Snickers bars and all the Doritos and junk that's out there, that's sprayed with glyphosate and filled with MSG and chemicals that have you addicted and pharmaceuticals and etc. that just keep us locked in this pattern, you know. And so when things are coming apart, just remember that it's reordering to a higher potential. So they even say this in nature, like when there's great cataclysms that, and stuff, that there is like an evolutionary, like quantum leap that happens right after it. So I think we're about to potentially go through some, we've been going through for years now, this collective catastrophe. But just to remind everyone that the pendulum has to swing as far one way as it does to the other. So all this difficulty we're going through is going to swing us back into something even better. And to remember that. So yeah, your relationship with your food is one of these foremost relationships, because this is our relationship with the earth, our connection with our food and what nourishes us. So, and to realize that everything is, health is really based on electricity. So I did video recently talking about how the body's got between 35 and 50 million trillion cells, and that each cell makes 0.7 volts. But that was actually inaccurate. The body has 50 trillion cells and makes 1.4 volts, which means you were walking around with 70 trillion volts in your body. And illness is just a lack of voltage, and that can come from mental stress, physical stress from the things we, consume, our habits, and for instance, a salamander, they can regrow limbs. They can even like have a chunk taken out of them and have their heart, be chewed up, and they can regrow their limbs, and it's done completely through voltage. It's 100% done by voltage. Look it up. So that's why I suggest the alkaline, raw, fasting, etc. I do a 23-hour dry fast every day. I've been doing that for more than a year, and then I do a 48-hour dry fast on the weekend, and I make my body out of all juices. So I'm gonna make a juice now. Maybe I'll spare you because listen to this. This is how old my juicer is. Check it out. It's a Green Star. I got this like 2011. So this has been making juice for me for like 12 years, and I make half a gallon of juice every day. So that's a buttload of juice. Look, I also bought my wife some beautiful peaches from the farmer. Our peach tree didn't happen. And some beautiful apricots. We got herbs here. There's some yellow dock that we gathered from our garden that my wife's gonna make into an oxymel for her needs for iron. It's a great herb for women's health. If you need iron, You know, if you choose to get it from animal products, that's, you know, completely up to you. But there are lots of plant allies, whichever your choice, like the doc, um, that can help you absorb iron. There's things like nettles. There's many, you know, things like kale, super high sources of iron. So just to share that little bit. But anyway, that was mostly what I wanted to share about this whole thing of, you know, the electric universe. I did a live just a little bit ago about Shambhala and the Kala chakra, and how the mandalas of the Tibetan Buddhists are basically like a schematic of the circuitry of the cosmos and the circuitry of your body. You have all these meridians and nadis and bindus that the prana or the chi flows through. And so when we have these blockages in our body from overconsumption of toxic foods, and we don't fast and juice and do these things, or we have emotional blockages based on habits, you know, codependency and things, that that prana gets frustrated, and it gets, there becomes resistance, just like resistance in an electrical wire, and that causes it to kind of fry out, you know, it causes disease. So we want to open up. We want to open up our heart chakra to compassion and really being there with each other through difficult times. Good times will be there too. Although you really need a friend is when it's hard. So be that friend. Anyway, go make my juice. Hope you got something from this family. Sending you all the blessed. Have a beautiful day. One love.